You gotta cut the grass. Unclench. Engage. Engage.
It's a Feider sit-on mower. There's a handle. That's some plastic. Instructions. Grass bag, I suppose. Have a look. Not bad looking machine. Huge cutting platform. Right, all the parts are now, we got it round the back of the house. All the parts are here now. I've uncrated obviously that, you've seen that yesterday. If you come over here, you can see that the seat is there. We'll put that on in a minute. That I believe is the kit for the grass collector. And then there's the tubes there. I think that's a mulching facility tube. And then it's just a chute to chuck it out the side. What you might be a bit worried about is I couldn't find the instructions when I first opened it up, but it turns out, and they don't tell you this, but it turns out when you lift this up, the instructions I've taken out already, but come in a little plastic bag, and they're actually in the engine bay. So that's the instructions. It's quite straightforward. It's quite funny actually, because they tell you what you should and shouldn't do. Over somebody else got their logo on. And it says that data indicates the operators aged 60 and above are involved in a large percentage of riding mower related injuries. So I've probably got about 6 months before I can actually stop using it. I'll have to let it. The battery needs to be checked before you actually connect the terminals to see if it's in date. So the battery is connected at the back of the machine here, as you can see there, and it's actually kept by this retaining clip. Rather get in there and take it off and then slide it out. So, clip. There, that is the date, but there's nothing on there that tells me that it was the date. But as you can see right in the middle there's a green light, so the assumption for us is that it's good to go. So all we'll do now is take off these caps for the battery terminals, then slide them back in again. It's got a little well to sit on in there. Okay, in the smaller bag where the keys and some screws are, there are some small hexagon nuts and wing nuts, bolts and wing nuts. So we're going to attach them onto there. It says that you need to do the red ones first. So the red is positive. Can you see which is positive on the?
Yeah, this one.
Yeah. So connect that one first. With the wing nut. And the negative over here. Can you reach over there okay?
Yeah.
Once the positive and the negative is actually connected, there is a grommet that you can slide up over the positive terminal. Keeps everything safe and what have you. Then really, now they're all done up tight, just finger tight on the wing nuts, that should be sufficient. Okay, we've got the battery in. We've got the channel on there. A bit loose, but that seems to be all right on there. And now we're going to get, well, Brad's going to actually fix the seat on now. So that's the seat, and it comes in a plastic bag. It's a nice, good seat actually. So the holes, the studs that are in there, will go through those holes. Like that, and then they'll slide up, I would think, until we can see the holes. If I hold that for Brad, quite a heavy section. I suppose if we leave it loose for the minute, and then we'll just take that, lift that one up, up a bit more, that's it, slide him down. So you get on him now, and then if it's too close you can slide it back a bit. Is that as far back as you go?
Yeah, that is.
Yeah?
Yeah. That's good.
So now what we need to do is try and leave it in that position, lift the thing up, do it up tight now.
Yeah.
Go for that. I suppose you could go back a little bit more, couldn't he? Because you were really on top of it. That's it.
Yep.
Okay, so we've got the engine point here. What they say is you can just undo that, just a little bayonet bit really, and then just wipe him. Looks like it's a real clean engine oil, as it should be. We've got low level, high level, so just drop him in there, bring him back out, and you can see by there it's right in the middle, so that's good. Pretty sharp. So just a twist, they don't unscrew, it's just a twist. So we know the engine's fine. So the next step I think is going to put the fuel in. Not going to put too much in. So what we've done down here is you undo the existing cover, which is on a hinge. I don't know if you can see that hinge there. It might be focused. Let me just... that hinge there, and then you put this attachment that's got this chute going out there, and it screws onto the wing nut there and onto the one at the back there, and then this chute assembly is there, which comes out here. Brad's got a blank on there, so we take the blank off and then take the chute. The chute will slide down into there. Should go underneath that top one, Bob. That's it. And then that should go up there. I would imagine you've got to screw that in actually. So what we've done is we put the split pins in there. And just bend them round. That's it. Clip this basket collector onto this hole here. Once we put that one on there, you just find your way on this because it's not exactly straightforward. That's the grass bag, and I presume that must be another split pin there somewhere.
Yeah.
So, this is one little failing, Mr. Feider. Is it Feider? This bolt, which is probably an 8mm bolt, goes through the bar. It doesn't go through your stick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to elongate it with a bigger screw from this drill myself. Bit of home improvement. It'll try and whip itself around there. Right, but being an engineer, I know that this thing's going to get wet. And that just relieves all the black paint, so I'm going to just put a little bit of black paint on it as well.
What's that one? Should I put that on the back?
You don't think we need to because it's actually, well, you can try. So we put the back on, that's on there, slid on there. Right, what we've done is we've, with a bit of a faff really, but we've put the grass collector on. Brad's put the grass collector on. It's quite simple enough, and then there's a lever there if you want to dump it all out, which is quite good. And now we're going to wheel it onto the grass and start her up.
You gotta cut the grass. Unclench. Engage. Engage. He's creating a racetrack. It's Laguna Seca.
I'm never doing this.
Doing donuts. Keep your foot down. Yeah. It knows when you get off. You created some weird racetrack.
I've had this mower about a season now, and on the whole it's been very good. As you can see, it cuts the grass really well. It's comfortable to sit on. It goes fast enough if you're up into fourth gear and you've got the fuel control halfway between the rabbit and the turtle. It seems to do quite well. But the engine does seem to struggle. It seems to be a knack that you need to adopt to get it to work. by turning the key, having the fuel thing halfway up the tube, as it were, halfway up, and then taking it back to the turbo, it seems to kick in. Which is annoying. I just wanted to start first time. You would think that these days, in the 2020s, that you would have an engine that you would rely on to start straight away every time. And I'm not getting that. And I'm not sure if I'm doing anything wrong. If anybody can tell me if I'm doing something wrong, let me know in the comments. I also not too clear on how I'm going to be able to get a service engineer to look at it. I can't drive it anywhere. And in the manual and on the website, the service engineers, local service engineers, isn't very specific where I can take it. I'm thinking of taking it to the local mechanic, or getting the mechanic to come out here to look at it. Because it reminds me of the first car I had, Mark II Cortina, where I was always changing the spark plugs, making sure the HT leads were working, it just wasn't running right, whether the carburetor was set up correctly, whether the distributor cap was working efficiently. And I get that impression with this engine. I don't really want to be doing that now. So yeah, it cuts fine, it's comfortable, but the engine's not great. You can probably see that trying to start it, it just has this knack that you need to adopt to do it. And then another thing is that when you've got the grass collector tube on, it comes up here into the grass box. It doesn't take an awful lot of either heavy cut or slightly damp cut to clog it up straight away. And then the engine just don't like it, it just kicks and bucks and just stops. So I've been tending to use it with the thing that chucks it straight out the side. It's not a mulcher, I don't think it's a mulcher. So I've been doing that and then raking up the grass, because especially the first cut of the season where it's quite a heavy cut, and it would just, so I'm just raking that one up. I've just done this particular cut today. It's the second cut in 1 week, and I've decided to put the grass box, and that seemed to work okay with a light cut. It goes into the grass box. With an area like this, you need to empty the grass box 3 times. So yeah, I'm okay with the mower. We'll persevere with it. I'm not too sure if I was looking for a new mower, where I would now recommend you to get one of these. I haven't tried the other ones out. I know there's Mountfields, there's other ones out there that may be the same problems, I don't know. But as this one goes, we're going to carry on with it. Like I said, I've done a season for it now. We'll keep going. We'll see if we can get an engineer to look at it and tell me that the engine needs a certain service. As it goes, it's a French one. You've seen me assemble it, you've seen me cut it. And if you buy one, I don't think you'll be too disappointed, but bear in mind what I say about the engine. Anyway, best of luck.